Chief Judge Robert M. Bell of the Maryland Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, has a quick response for when he hears himself or one of his colleagues referred to as a justice. He says, "There is no justice in Maryland." Quite a tongue-in-cheek response, huh? But it's also a little bit of a nod to the many people in Maryland who can't resolve their legal problems because they don't know what to ask the court for, and they can't pay somebody who does. Of the three government branches, the judicial system is probably the most opaque. The law is complex, the processes are mostly undocumented, and the system assumes that everyone has an attorney, which isn't true. Lawyers are guaranteed in only criminal cases. In civil cases, like protection orders, evictions, foreclosures, that they're not. Funding for legal aid, the lawyers who are provided for people who cannot pay, is decreasing, and even middle-class families are struggling to pay for legal services. So more people are representing themselves. I imagine personally that it feels a little like filling out your taxes, knowing that if you make a simple mistake, you're going to lose your home or your children, sort of a terrifying consequence. Courts know that a problem exists, so they're innovating. They're adopting creative solutions that require them to work with community partners and use technology. The most important tool that is used by courts are forms. Almost every other strategy relies on forms. The court form outlines what information you need to provide for a court so that they can make a decision in your case. But as you know, people still fill out forms wrong. As a solution, courts have found many mistakes can be prevented if people use online interactive interviews that generate the court forms for them. Many of these interviews are posted on Law Help Interactive, a national system that is funded by the Legal Services Corporation, a federally funded entity. Law Help Interactive pools resources so participants can benefit from each other's work and avoid duplicating infrastructure, which is a waste of resources. At the core of Law Help Interactive is HotDocs Server. It allows the interviews to be published online, and using these interviews, people can answer questions, generate documents, and can even reuse their answers on other forms if necessary. Interviews are created and posted by non-technical people. They use HotDocs Professional and A2J Author, a product of the Center for Access to Justice and Technology at the Kent Law School. A simple document can be put together and tested in a matter of hours. Law Help Interactive started as a project of an Ohio legal aid program. In 2006, Pro Bono Net was asked to be its steward due to our mission and history of working nationally with local partners to increase access to justice through technology, volunteerism, and collaboration. One of the courts involved is the New York City courts. In 2005, they realized 75% of people in the New York City Family Court and 90% of people in the New York City Housing Court appeared without a lawyer. So they created forms that people could print and fill in. This helped, but wasn't enough. When they were approached by a legal aid program about partnering to create online interviews, the court decided to give it a try. My colleague, Claudia Johnson, and I have had the privilege of working with them, helping them to share what they've learned in the interviews that they've created. They've replicated interviews that are used by other organizations around the country. Their first interviews were posted in 2007. Based on the results, they expanded the program statewide, and more interviews were posted in 2009. During that year, over 25,000 forms were filled out online, and in the first quarter of 2010, they filled out more than 12,000 documents. Feedback is outstanding. People are grateful the resources exist, and judges and court staff are thrilled because the forms are legible, and the cases move faster, and they don't have to explain procedure. But this is not just happening in New York. Nationally, court forms and legal documents are being simplified and automated. Many courts are taking the lead, but in places where the courts are reluctant, legal aid programs are going ahead on their own. I'm constantly amazed at the innovation in my community. Several states are moving beyond court forms. In Kentucky and Oklahoma, they're working with child support agencies. And in Maine, Pine Tree Legal Aid they estimated food stamps and TANF benefits. Maryland is also building online interviews for Law Help Interactive. It's a small project, So while there still may not be justice in Maryland now, at least the courts are getting a little bit closer. Thank you.